and you'll have the opportunities to play. Get ready for that. And I think they are training well so far. So I hope they will be ready for these fixtures.
So 3 in 7 days, Benno, as Nick has just said, and there will be changes because that's just the sensible thing to do. How many of those changes happen tomorrow, though? How many are then, do you keep the same team tomorrow and then make the changes for Liverpool, or is it going to be a bit of mixing and matching?
It'll be a little bit of mixing and matching. I think tomorrow there won't be that many changes. Maybe maybe 2. I think he might change the formation. I think he most probably play with 4. He might freshen up maybe the wide players. Who knows? He might even freshen up the striker. So I won't be surprised if there's 2 or 3 changes tomorrow.
Yeah, if you're anticipating, let's have the conversation that we've just had on a Newcastle perspective with Sunderland then about centre halves. Because if you're reducing the number from 3 to 2, who's missing out for you? Who are your 2 centre halves tomorrow?
Very good question. Well, Ballard's going to be one.
Yeah,
that's for sure. And then it's just a case of, does he bring Alderete in, or does he keep McKaylee alongside him? Hume at right back.
I think if he's minded to take anybody out, it'd be Hertrauder, because he previously has been brought in as a defensive midfielder as well as a centre back. He's come in to make the 3 when they played a 5, but I think Ballard and McKaylee are his first choice since Alderete dropped out with the injury. And McKaylee offers him the long throw as well. He offers him that aspect of tactic. And so I think it's tough on Alderete. It's tough on Hertrauder because he's not really done anything wrong, but he seems to be the player who could also still figure in the game if he goes to a 4. And I'm inclined to agree with Benno that he'll play a 4 at home. Hertrauder will undoubtedly, I think, be involved later in the game. He brings him on, he uses him. He makes those tactical switches after an hour or so. Tends to bring Talby on, tends to bring Broby on, takes Isidore off. He has talked yesterday about, at some point, maybe playing 4-4-2. But I think, ultimately, tomorrow, he's got to be attack-minded. He's got to try and win the game against Bournemouth at home. I think he'll go with a 4. I think, like Benno, he might make 1 or 2 changes, minded to rest a couple of players for Liverpool on Wednesday night. It's difficult. It's hard to, because nobody's really done anything much wrong. Although he has got the fallback of saying, look, it didn't go 100% right at Fulham. So do I point fingers? It's tough because nobody did much wrong at Fulham, just the manner of the way the game went. But I think tomorrow we'll see. Having had 3 games with it naming an unchanged 11. Yeah. It's very unusual to go 4 games, I think, without making a change at home as well, because the 5 has tended to serve him well away from home, but he adopted it at home against Arsenal because it was Arsenal. So I think there will be 1 or 2 changes.
Is that your thinking as well, Gary, as to why it would be and should be a back 4, because it's a home game rather than because it's Bournemouth specifically?
It's a home game, and I think especially after last week, I think, when you look at him going forward, we didn't really create much going forward, and I think that was a major issue for Sunderland last week. And he's going to be looking at this game, especially at home to Bournemouth. If you can get over the line, it'll be a good result. And then you're looking at the next 2 games. You got Manchester City and Liverpool. You're not going to go toe to toe with him. What you're going to do is mostly set yourselves up to frustrate him. And that's where I think, obviously, you're going to get 1 or 2 of the players who have been on the bench who's going to come in.
But just to, because I'm well aware how much we've talked about back 4 and back 5 this week, but it sounds like Liverpool and Manchester City are games that suit a back 5. So is there an argument, well, why stick 1 different formation in between those? Why not have the consistency of playing with a back 5 if you know you're going to go back to it on Wednesday night?
Well, there is. I mean, there is. I agree with you. There is that argument, and the fact that 5 does mutate into a 4 during the game. The old that in possession and out of possession factor, that when Sunderland in possession, Trey Hume becomes a midfielder, Mukele becomes a right back, goes to a back 4. When they're out of possession, Hume drops back into the right back position, 3 centre backs, and then your central midfielders drop back to defend the back 4, if you like. So there is that argument. I just get a sense that whilst Regis Labisa's has played that formation, he's played it for 3 games, he's in his own mind, he's often said how 4 is his favourite. 4-3-3. He's even talked about 4-4-2 this week as well. I think he's swaying towards trying to get back to playing 4 rather than playing the 5.
And it's interesting.
Sorry, Gary, but they're not bad, Bournemouth.
Yeah,
you know,
they're not.
I know
They're a
you're
good
talking
team.
about Liverpool and Manchester
high
City
press and
playing 5,
Bournemouth are a good team.
but these are
Yeah,
a good
They're
side,
far better
and
than Liverpool. So
they've got a lot of pace up front as well, and they play through the lines and they break quick. You know, so yeah,
It's interesting.
It's fascinating. I mean,
especially when you look back over the last maybe 2 or 3 games, you know, and again you look at, we go back to Chelsea,